Hello crafters, this is Gareth aka Gelfie from Elf Creations and welcome to this month's edition of the Woodland Christmas card. We're going to be using the stockings on this card. I have a 6x12 inch piece of cardstock which will be your card base. You are going to need a 12x12 what are these things called now? My mind goes a blank. Scoreboards. The first score you're going to need is 1 inch from the edge. So score at 1 inch. And then we're going to score at 5.5 inches. Oops. I don't know why this goes. I think it's 5.5. Stay where you are. 5.5. Don't know why it jumps there, but it does. 5.5, and then we're going to do 6.5, and then we're going to do 7.5. Come on, this scoreboard is temperamental. I'm still getting used to it. So just going to go back over my scoreboard, my score lines. So to recap, you need to score them at 1 inch, 5.5 inch, 6.5 inch and 7.5 inch. So that's the scoring portion done. Let me get this out of the way. Right, now you are also going to need a square die set, nesting die set, or just a square die if you have one. I'm going to use the nesting die set available from my store, and using this section with the 1 inch, the first, my mind is completely warped today. This first score at 1 inch, and you are going to need to place a square die which suits you. And I think I'm going to go for that one. What we are going to be making basically is a card which will fold in on itself, and it will have a fireplace, so you can put an LED candle behind it. So I'm going to show you more of that as we go along. So I'm going to bring up my lovely and trusted Cuttlebug. And using the traditional A, B and C sandwich, I'm going to put in my card base. But before I do that, I'm going to make sure I've got this centered where I want it to be. Now I want the where the 5.5 score line is, I'm going to put my die on that score line, and using a couple of scraps of not the most stickiest washi tape, I'm going to secure that die in place. If I can ever find the end of this score, of this tape, there we go. So making sure it's as straight and centered. You can measure this, but you know me, I like to eyeball things. Pop that on there, pop that on there, pop that into our Cuttlebug, and we're going to run that through. And no matter what I do, I always get this crinkly thing, so I'll have to trim it off slightly. So taking that off. Okay. Don't throw these away, because these always make good sentiment borders. Good for sentiments. I'm just going to trim this very unsightly edge off now. I need to get a bigger I definitely need to get myself a bigger die cutting machine. maybe not do as many 6x6 cards. But I am partial to a 6x6 card, as you know, crafters. Okay. Now, what's going to happen is that's going to fold up. That you would fold in, and that you would fold up. So you have almost like a Z or a 3, and that will then go over the top. So that's going to be the basic shape of your card, and then inside there is where you would place your tea light. So this is going to be the main focal point. But what I am going to do is, you could do it a couple of ways. If you have a big enough embossing folder, you can emboss this and you get your brick design, but for me this brick is the wrong way round, but it could work. It could still work. Let's try it, crafters. Let's try it. Or you could use a stamp set, or if you've got brick paper in your stash, if you've got a designer paper and it's got brick on there, then use that. But I'm going to give this a whirl to see if this works. So I've got an A, B and B plate sandwich, and I'm going to put this through and emboss it, if it'll go through. Okay. More crunchy corners. Let's see how that works. Yes, that works. See that, crafters? That actually works, and it gives it an outline like a fireplace. Battery died, crafters, so I'm not too sure exactly what you didn't, what last thing was that you heard. But you could use a stamp set and create the brick. You could draw bricks on. You could use a designer paper with a brick designer paper on the inside. It's entirely your choice in how you create this this brick effect. Now, using my red brick, fired brick distress ink, I am going to use this to colour these bricks, and I've just got this piece of paper here because I don't really want this distress ink to go on other places on the card. So I'm going to be quite careful in regards to where this goes. Now, using the gold gel pen, now this gold gel pens are sold in a set of 2 and they're available in my store. I am going to run this gold gel pen. You get a silver and a gold. Because this is embossed, I've now got spaces. Now I'm going to go all the way through these spaces, and I'm going to use this gold gel pen as the what do you call it? The grit, that concrete that's in the middle of the bricks, in between the bricks. Okay, so that's the end result. I love that. I really like that. So I need some scrap white card, because I need to make a mantle and some what do you call those these things? This would be the I'm going to overlay it slightly. I'm just cutting these pieces of paper to give the impression of some skirting board. Again, you can measure this, but I'm such a person that just eyeballs things. So I'm just going to eyeball those. And I'm going to use the same one to give me the impression for the other side. And they will sit on the bottom there, but I am going to distress them slightly with some memento, with the vintage photo, just to give them a bit of definition, especially across the top. Do I want it all the way around? Yep, that looks good. I'll have it all the way around. and I need a mantelpiece. So again, just going to guesstimate it, but please feel free to measure these things. I'm just so bad when it comes to measuring. I like to eyeball things. Going to give that some age as well. And that will go on there like that. Okay. So let's attach these. I'm going to attach the skirting board. I'm not going to do the chimney breast yet because I need that for I need to do the stockings. My odds and sods of paper, my scraps. And I'm going to take out some of the do I want to use all three? I'm going to stamp out all three, but I'm not too sure how many of these I'm going to use. This is one. And using my fussy cutting scissors, I'm going to cut these out. Right, one other thing we need for this fireplace is some vellum. Now, if you're lucky enough to have a stamp set that has, if it has like wood burning and flames and that type of thing, then you could stamp the image of the fireplace onto the vellum. I don't have any stamp sets with that in it, so I am simply going to adhere some vellum to the back, making sure that it fits. Right, so that is my fireplace mantle. So taking those into consideration, I need to adhere those. So I'm going to put some foam tape on the back of that, I think. Will my foam tape be wide enough? Yes, it is. I'm going to put a dab of the art glitter glue just at the top, and then have some of these foam squares on the bottom to keep it level with the foam that I put underneath that. Now you could certainly colour these stockings, but I quite like them in the black and white. And then you put your tea light. Let me just get hold of a tea light. Okay, so you have your tea light, and the way this is designed, you then put your tea light in the centre here, fold it over, and that stays there. But what I'm going to do on the back here, I'm going to adhere. I'm going to put some Velcro. And closing it. And then you have your tea light on the inside. Like I said, if you could stamp an image here that looks like flames, that would look absolutely gorgeous. And then you can, I'm just going to push those down. I need them to stay. Right, and then on the inside you stamp your sentiment. Now going back to the stamp set. What can I have? Peace on Earth, Wonderful Wishes, Winter Wonderland. I'm going to have just the simply Merry and Bright. And I'm going to have that with the memento. And in the centre, Merry and Bright. And that is done. So you literally, and the good thing about it, you push these two in and bend that one back and fold those over, and that's how you would send it in the post. So the end dimensions become 4.5 inches by 6 inches, so it becomes a 6x4 card once you've done all the different cuts and things. That one doesn't want to stay in, so let me just put some art glitter glue there. Stay put, please. Thank you. And they open it up and they have the Merry and Bright, and you can put your Christmas wishes, and then when they have it on display, they have it like that on their counter. Put the LED candle in the back, and it looks like there's a fire. I hope this makes sense. I know it was kind of a bit higgledy-piggledy, but I'm quite frazzled today. I'm in a bit of pain. Not that that's an excuse, but sometimes my videos can be a lot clearer than others, but it does depend on you know, how coherent I am at the time. I know there's lots of fibromyalgia sufferers out there that can relate. But thank you very much for joining me this month for this month's Woodland Christmas card, and I'll see you again very soon. Take care now. Bye bye.